All right, we got Dead Man Logan 2 of 12. You know, I was going to pass this book up until I saw Mid-Headroom's video. Mid-Headroom did a video on the first issue, and I was like, this is pretty intriguing. We got a lower level villain as the lead, Mysterio, sorry. And we have Old Man Logan kind of broken and beaten. So I wanted to see, I wanted to check this out for myself. Second issue came out. I was like, all right, I'm going to check this out. And I'm glad I did. It was really good. I'm never really read the Old Man Logan series. Wasn't that interested in it. More time display stuff. But this is supposedly going to be the last, and he is going to die, I would imagine. Because, you know, you have the younger one coming back, and he does acknowledge that in this, which is pretty cool. I like that they acknowledge, you know, what's going on. Now, little quick context of the story is Miss Sinister, which, is that Mr. Sinister or is that his daughter? Because Mr. Sinister is currently in the Iceman comic right now, so I'm a little lost if they're the same person. But basically, she saw inside of Old Man Logan's head, saw the old future. He's got a pretty interesting story if you've never read that old book. But basically, Mysterio tricked him into thinking the X-Men were villains. And because he did that, Wolverine ended up killing all of them. And he ends up being really guilt-ridden by it, never uses his claws, becomes a pacifist. It's a really good story. But basically, now that he's time displaced, he's trying to make sure that that never happens for this universe. And he's dying because he is so old, his healing factor is failing, and he's getting animenium poison. Now, if you don't know what's going on, basically the animenium is always killing Wolverine. And because of his healing factor, he's always healing it, and he lives. Well, if his healing factor goes kaput, the animenium is going to kill him. That's kind of like the plus to the healing factor and why he can have that in the first place. But the book starts off with Mysterio pretty much perfecting that idea. And you got this guy here, Spider-Man, running, and they end up killing him. And they're like, pretty much, he's perfecting that technique. And they're like, oh, hey, that's really cool. How can we do that? You know, Mysterio is pretty much becoming a top-tier villain. And Wolverine's trying to double down on that by letting Hawkeye know, look, man, we got to take care of this problem. And Hawkeye's with him. It's fun to see the two of them kind of working together. Like Mim said, it's nice to see Hawkeye get called Hawkeye. But there is an interesting development of what happens here. Now you see Lady Red Skull. Now one thing I did want to point out, in every Marvel book, the villain women are always effeminate. Look at this feminine women, right? They're always sexy. They always kind of look like this. But the female heroes are always kind of masculine. Makes you think, huh? But basically, Mysterio is getting pushed around by Crossbones. And he's telling him, look, you better not pull any fast ones with us. And he's putting on a little act. Well, we find out Mysterio's nervous. What have I gotten myself into? Now, this is a play here. Is he gonna try to get out of this? Is Old Man Logan and Hawkeye, I bet, are going to end up saving him and protecting him. I think that's kind of where things are going to go with the story. And it would be a good hero's journey ending for Old Man Logan if that's the way things play out. We also find out, thanks to Forge, that Old Man Logan can go home. He's found a way to fix it so that he can go back to his own dimension, but he turns it down. He doesn't want to go home until he takes care of Mysterio, because for him, he wants to make sure that there's at least one timeline where this doesn't happen. It kind of reminds me of Dragon Ball when Trunks, you know, the whole reason that he stayed around and helped them get rid of Cell and the android is because he wanted to make sure at least one reality didn't have to go through what he did. And that's what this reminded me of. And here we get a flashback as they're hunting, and he's explaining. You see some of the dead X-Men and Mysterio flaunting it. And here's something that's pretty interesting. So you see these band of bad guys here that Mysterio's behind. Well, Old Man Logan's about to rush in there. They found Mysterio after hunting him for 2 issues. They found him. And they're about to attack him. And you see him shooting up this stuff. This keeps his healing factor going, but it also kills him. Now, I also think this is pretty cool because of he got his hand chopped off and it grew back. But because of this, he has a set of bone claws and he has a set of animanium claws, which I think are pretty cool. He also is missing an eye that didn't heal back properly. So he's pretty beat up. He's pretty damaged. But we find out at the end, this group here, it's actually the Avengers that Mysterio is, he's transformed them. You can see here he is. I don't want to hurt you, Logan. Boom. So he's literally recreating what's happened before, and I think that that's pretty cool. This is actually a pretty good comic. I'm really surprised. I'm interested, so I'm going to pick up the third one. We'll see where it goes, if it stays good or not. But yeah, check it out. I give it a 3 out of 5, almost a 4. I need to read more before I decide on how good this is, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. So check it out. Let me know what you thought about this book if you read it. Let me know what you thought about this video. Also, hit the notification bell, subscribe, throw a like up. Also, check out my streaming and my Patreon. There's links in the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.